Hello, my friends. It's Nick and the ASMR nerd, and welcome to the picturesque seaside village of Bright Falls in Alan Wake 2. This game might be the most beautiful and photorealistic game that I have ever seen, and it uses some pretty impressive tech to render these gorgeous scenes. And although the game is pretty spooky, quite sinister, there will be no spooky or sinister things in this video. No jump scares or anything like that. We're just here to appreciate the incredible scenery on offer. So we're going to take a relaxing wander around the Bright Falls waterfront. Now, as you can maybe see or tell just from what is visible here, Bright Falls is a very small place, and it's pretty run down. Not much happens in Bright Falls except for spooky, sinister things, but otherwise it's a pretty quiet place. Down here by the waterfront, we get a gorgeous view across the water to some lovely mountains and forests. I believe that this game is set in Washington State, and so these are the mountains and coastal temperate rainforest of the Pacific Northwest. We find ourselves here by a shipyard. It's called Frankie's, nope, I lied, Billy's Boatyard, Rigging and Repairs, established 1994. It's the autumn, I believe, judging by the colors of the trees and all these leaves fluttering down, and the crispy, crunchy leaves covering the ground. It makes for a very picturesque setting. And again, it's appropriate for the spooky themes of the game. It looks like it's rained here recently. Pavement is slick. And these amazing puddles with such realistic reflections. And that is thanks to the full path tracing that's happening here, otherwise known as full ray tracing. Path tracing is basically ray traced lighting for everything. So ray traced direct lighting, ray traced shadows, ray traced indirect lighting, and global illumination. This game makes use of NVIDIA's ray reconstruction tech, which is quite cutting edge. Debuted with Cyberpunk 2077's 2.0 update. I believe this might only be the second game using it, but it provides extremely accurate ray traced reflections and occlusion, ambient occlusion. But the water looks so perfect. As a resident of the Pacific Northwest myself, it's darn near photorealistic. A beautiful glassy surface. And look at the way the mist clings to the surface of the water. The fog creates layers in the distance. And the way the early morning sunlight illuminates the fluffy clouds, as well as the wood of the structure we're standing in, and indeed our character herself. And these delicate flowers in this planter here. As you can see, things are a bit flooded here on the waterfront. I suppose maybe due to recent rains. Looks like this would normally be waterfront boardwalk maybe, or park of some kind. And yet, it's all submerged right now. It occurs to me I called this a seaside village earlier, but I don't think it would flood like this if it was oceanside. So maybe it's a lakeside village. I must admit, I'm fairly new here myself. This is my first time in the universe of Alan Wake, so I could have been mistaken. It does seem like Bright Falls' claim to fame is the Deer Fest. The Deer Fest, a local harvest celebration. This is evidently the 81st Deer Fest, and the residents of the town seem quite excited about it. I believe Deer Fest will be happening tomorrow. Or maybe today. It is early morning yet. You can see the town takes great pride in Deer Fest with banners along the main street here. We have a couple of mascots down here advertising Oh Deer Diner, which you can see just up the road. Coffee World at Oh Deer Diner. We'll head up that way in a moment, but first, let's check out this building here. This is a motel. The motel in town, as far as I can tell. The Elderwood Palace Lodge, which is a very ostentatious name for a very humble, shall we say, accommodation. In fact, there's some information on it right here. Historic Elderwood Palace Lodge of Bright Falls. It's a plaque. They have a nice doormat. Welcome. Let's head on inside. Throw open those front doors. And as you can see, it's well kept in here, if somewhat rustic and a bit worn looking. It's right around Halloween time. We've got pumpkins decorating the front desk where this clerk looks a bit stressed or tired, perhaps. I feel you, buddy. He needs some ASMR to help him sleep. Well, I guess he's on the job. Maybe not. Look at these beautiful apples in a wooden bowl on the table here. This gorgeous hearth. There's definitely a deer theme going on. Lots of deer skulls mounted to walls. Another pumpkin by the hearth. And some split wood for a nice roaring fire in the evenings, no doubt. They've got a big canoe mounted up on the wall, carrying on that rustic theme. Oh, there's someone else here with us. They're just hanging out on their phone, it looks like. Eating some pizza. Look at how accurately this rear wall is lit. I know this is a very minor thing, but the way the indirect light from the front of the place bounces in and then catches the wood material on the back wall in such a realistic way. And the way these leather couches also softly reflect that bounce lighting from the front of the hotel. And then we've got very sharp and incredibly accurate reflections off the glass of that TV up on the wall. All of this off-screen geometry being reflected in such a realistic way in that glass. Isn't that stunning? Shockingly realistic. And this wonder, as I suggested earlier, is as much of a technological showcase as it is atmospheric. Of course, the technology facilitates creating such a rich atmosphere. Again, the way the light pours down this hallway from the window at the end, catching all the picture frames along the walls, and then those picture frames themselves with the accurate reflections, the glass reflecting. Contents of the hallway. Incredible. The way the light spills in, bounces around. It's very bright out there. You can see this is a varnished door. All shiny and smooth. The materials in this game are phenomenal. Incredible physically based materials. Even the way the window light lights the back of our character as we walk down the hall. Just remarkable. Path tracing is truly next gen. It really does feel like a revolution in graphics. Here we've got a little restaurant. Someone just sitting here enjoying their coffee. And someone just dancing by himself in his rubber boots. He's just vibing. He looks like he's having a good time. He's not hurting anyone. Here we've got light shafting through the window, looking slightly hazy in here, and a cozy bar. A little coffee shop. This fellow is waiting patiently on something in the microwave. And this back here is where our character has her investigation space, where she can set up her mind map to collate clues and connect the dots. I'm going to be trying to keep this spoiler free though, so we won't look too closely at what's going on over there. Suffice it to say, there is murder most foul. It's a cozy space that we have back here for running our investigation. We've even got a little mini bar. This man's meal is going to be lava by the time he's done. And this guy is just going to keep dancing. Let's head out of the lodge and back out into Bright Falls. The warm early morning sun in Bright Falls. Little hot dog cart. Hot dogs, $1. That's not a 2023 price. Where do you get hot dogs for $1 in 2023? Not even Costco. Not anymore. Veggie dogs, $3. That's a ripoff. 3 times the price. Pretzels, $2. Soda for $1.50. What's going on with these prices? $2.50 for a can of soda. And $1 for a hot dog. Those should be flipped. Bright Falls has some whack pricing. These coffee mascots really working for their money here. Really working for it, especially considering there's really no one around to advertise to, except for us, I guess. Fresh seafood, fish, and shrimp down on the waterfront. Okay, maybe this is oceanfront. I'm inclined to believe it is, because we have these trawlers here, these fishing boats that would not be here if this was on a lake. So I'm not sure what the flooding is about, but oh well. And here we have a float for Deerfest. And what a float it is. But you can see that even here on the waterfront, where you might expect there to be vital, bustling business, we have abandoned buildings, run down, windows boarded up. Here on the corner, a funeral home, the Pine Funeral Home. But not much else. I get the feeling this was probably a resource town. If I had to guess, probably a lumber town. But I suppose fishing also. It has the feeling of an old resource town that's washed up and slowly dying. Nevertheless, at least somebody is passionate about Bright Falls. Mayor Setter. Looks like there's an election on. And Mayor Setter is campaigning hard to be mayor of Bright Falls. Lots of plaid and flannel around here, lots of jeans and boots, Blundstones and rubber boots. Look at this beautiful vivid tree. I think it's a maple. Yeah, it's definitely a maple. And here in the Pacific Northwest, that would be a big leaf maple, most likely. Here's the sheriff's station. And even the sheriff has a pretty dated patrol car. In fact, all the cars here look like they're at least 20 years old. More like 30. Not a lot of money here. The Bank of Bright Falls, picturesque historical building. Half of it all closed up, boarded up. And across the road, camping supplies at the hardware store, hardware and tools, fishing and hunting, barbecue accessories. All of this looks and feels so true. The verisimilitude is remarkable, not just with the technical aspects, the amazing materials and textures and lighting and all that, but also just the set dressing and the way it's all put together. This must be a furniture store, antiques maybe. Antique attic, and vintage finds. It just all feels like so many little villages that I've been to here in the Pacific Northwest. Someone's mowing their lawn, despite it being, presumably late October or something like that. And there's the town hall. An old wooden structure with a clock up top. That time doesn't seem correct. It seems to suggest that it's 1:15 in the afternoon, but the sun is too low in the sky for that, even in the fall. The light is too warm, so I think that clock just doesn't run. That's my guess. The lovely texture work on this stone, the way it's captured by the light. Many resource towns, though, have a similar feel to this. And when the resources dry up, not much is left. People don't have much reason to stay. Here we have a pretty little community park under the spreading branches of more maple trees, their leaves turning crimson and orange. It's actually quite pretty here. And the mist makes for such beautiful volumetric lighting. The sun shines through. Here around the base of the tree we have some sword fern. Sword fern, this is called. A very common fern around these parts. It looks like somebody has hung up some strange decorations in the tree. I wonder what that's about. Perhaps it has something to do with the strange goings on here. But again, that's not what we're here for today. We're just here to enjoy the atmosphere, the ambience, and admire the remarkable technical aspects of this game as well. I do not know what engine this game uses. I think it might be an in-house one for Remedy, but I could be mistaken about that as well. I believe it's an evolution of the one used for Control, but I'm not sure what engine that was. Control was another pioneering game when it came to ray traced effects. And Alan Wake 2 seems to be pushing boundaries even further with the full path tracing. Here is the Oh Dear Diner, which we saw being advertised just over there. Evidently, it has excellent coffee, and our colleague and the sheriff hanging out in front, sipping, seem to concur. I can hear seagulls, another indicator that perhaps this is seaside after all. Although you can get seagulls quite a ways inland as well. It's not impossible. Because waterfront structure, we've got Clay's Clam House, a seafood place. Let's see what it says on the door. Weekend seafood buffet. Families are welcome. $80. $80. I mean, seafood's not cheap, and buffets are also not cheap necessarily, but $80? That's outrageous. Just seems like too much. Oh, here's Mayor Setter once again, campaigning hard. Setter is better, apparently. Campaigning outside Clay's Clam House. There's also Bonnie's Pots and Pans. Some kind of storage place up there. And there is... what else? Crafty Ideas, stationery shop. Also, while we're here, kind of zoomed in like this. Look at this hair. The protagonist's hair is pretty remarkable. The detail in the animation. Pretty incredible. I know I'm just gushing over every little thing, but the detail is truly remarkable, and the consistency of the image is incredible. It's this amazing feeling of a very unified and physically accurate picture that you get from having these incredible materials, this amazing environmental design, and the awesome lighting, which just ties it all together with the realistic bounce lighting, reflections, shadows, and all that. And it would seem that we have come back to where we started, back here on the boardwalk, which is definitely in need of repair. Creaky and falling apart, but very picturesque, wouldn't you say? And so, my friends, I think I will leave us here for today. We had a wonderful chance to wander around a little bit of Bright Falls in Alan Wake 2 and admire the spectacular technical and artistic showcase on display, and soak up some of the incredible ambience and atmosphere. Something I didn't mention, but that we've been enjoying this whole time is, of course, the the soundscape. We pointed out some of the sounds we heard, like the seagulls, the lawnmower, even the creaky boardwalk that we're standing on right now, and the gentle lapping sound of the water against the pilings below us. Again, it's remarkably accurate. I've been many places just like this, and it sounds just the way they have it here. Remarkable visual and acoustic achievement, which I hope that you enjoyed seeing and hearing. Above all, I hope you found it relaxing, and I look very forward to seeing you again next time. Farewell for now, my friends. But before we end the video for real, it's that time. It's that time where I give special thanks to this channel's supporters, those who very kindly and directly support the content that I create by joining up on my Patreon or my YouTube memberships. You can see their illustrious names right here. And not only do they get the satisfaction of knowing that they are supporting something that, well, hopefully they enjoy in my content, but also some fun perks like early access to my weekend videos, like potentially voting in a monthly video or a poll for a video topic at the Foos Row and above tier. And at the Foos Row tier, those fine folks get their names read out, a special spoken shout out in every single one of my videos, and this video is no exception. And so it is my honor to read out our Foosrow patrons for this, well, patrons and YouTube members for this video, starting with Ragnar Ragnarsson, Captain Vanquisher, Angel Garcia, Jake Luffney, Drummer Brit, K Time, Rango Steel, and last but certainly not least, the mighty Odinson. Yes, these fine folks are so very appreciated. I cannot thank them enough, and that goes for everyone on the this page here. It means so much to me, honestly, and their support helps me keep making the kinds of videos that I enjoy the most, and that you hopefully do too. So, if you would like to join these fine folks, be among their ranks, perhaps get your name read out in a special spoken shout out in every video, be sure to check out the links down below at the top of the video description. And there you will find my Patreon and YouTube, and I'm sure YouTube memberships, I should say, and I'm sure you will find a tier that is right for you. A huge thank you once again to our amazing channel supporters.